sure to visit the URL, see where you are on the leaderboard. Now, I don't trust you on cooldowns, but I trust you on predictions. Jenkins, which team are you going for?
I'm gonna go with T1. I think the DK makes their draft really easy to play.
The cost?
Same. 60-40, in my opinion,
60-40.
for T1. There we go.
60-40 is your number. Jenkins going 1-17 is his number. And I want to know 2,000, specifically AUI and Sunsfan with the cast.
Thank you, gentlemen. I would just like to say that Jenkins has no idea what he's talking about. Lacoste and I knew exactly where we were going the entire time. He just has no faith in human beings because he is, in fact, not one. Sunsfan here with AUI 2000. Greetings.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome, Curtis, to this beautiful cast. This is the best of 3 between Quincy Crew and T1, a rematch of the Animajor. A lot of Quincy Crew fans, myself included, AUI, thought that they should have won that game 3. They were up by a decent margin, and then lost.
Honestly, I think T1 thought Quincy Crew was going to win that game 3, but they managed to claw it back as they do with so many games.
Yeah,
I mean, there's like supposed to win and there's actually winning, right? You can't close it out then.
LOA, he is dead. First blood T1, just right on cue, praising Quincy Crew, but T1 gets it.
That's such a casual death though, you know? He just sort of walked in there.
I feel like that's SVG's classic though. Usually it's on the Abaddon, so he doesn't really care.
Yeah, but usually not like this early, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I didn't know that. When you respawn, you keep your fire spirits, because usually your respawn time's long, right? It's level 1. So you actually had 2 fire spirits respawn time. Completely worthless info, but
that's a cool trivia
I guess if you buy back, then it probably still has it. You can TP in a fight with them still up.
Yeah,
so nice.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Doesn't matter at all. That's my favorite part of Dota.
You're saying that ironically, I think, but that actually is my favorite part of Dota. Is that these little like intricacies that make no sense sometimes.
No, that is my favorite part of Dota.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. Yeah, very, very cool. Okay, so talk about the lineups. Who do you like?
I think it depends a lot on this bot lane, but since Kuku got first blood, I'm gonna go with I like T1. The last time I saw this matchup was in Kazu was playing Timbersaw versus Nigma, I believe, and they 2-0'd them. He managed to kill IoTW in a matchup at level 1, and Morphling is susceptible. I also like what they're doing here. They're actually going aggro. Okay, I thought they were just blocking the way so that Timbersaw could come down here, but an aggro trialing coming out.
Yeah. Talk to me about this. Does this, will you work hair? I mean, it's Phoenix position 5.
It's an aggro trialing, but he immediately lost control of the equilibrium. So that means that MSS on the Hoodwink should have to come down here very early. Phoenix and Morphling are very bad trialing here, so you can see, like, they're just getting zoned out. MSS needs to TP now. Axe does out-farm Timbersaw in a 1v1, so they should just do it.
Yeah, and of course we're just casting, well, me and Lacoste were just casting a couple Hoodwink matches for Alliance. They lost both in horrendous fashion. And I know you and I watch a lot of NA Dota. MSS, he is, I'm going to call him the guy that is trying to, he's the one that's popularized this hero, I feel like. He's the first one to pick it, basically, and he's had great success with it.
Yeah, we saw even Crit picking it up from his NA brethren at the Animajor. I think he went like 7-0 in that game. Yeah. Hero looks good, but I don't know what's happening. I feel like the calm should have told MSS to come to bottom already. The camp's blocked, the lane's pushed. Your carry's getting free zoned out of the lane.
Yeah, Leslau still level 1, but this will give him level 2 at the very least. MSS probably going to be out of XP range there, but it's not an aggro try anymore for T1. As who is that? That's Whitemon that came to the top.
Lion TV's top. I guess the idea was that they were gonna get the lane back against Timbersaw and zone him. I don't feel like the impact is the same. No matter what you do to the Timbersaw this lane, when he gets level 3 and 5, he's still sitting in lane farming. I do not think it's the same for Morphling. It's heavily reliant on getting a good start. Oh, and they get the worst small camp spawn. I think they need to remove the small camp. Every other camp can like deny creeps if you sort of half pull, but this camp in particular, like even if you only pull the range creep, it won't kill the range creep. It's really dumb.
You're not a big fan of Kobold, huh?
No.
What if they give him a little bit more damage?
Yeah, I mean they could rebalance it.
I mean, it's the coolest model of all the small camps. I mean, he's holding a cup. We
can sort of compare, like at top lane, Whitemon. I mean, he does a very good connection here, but the small camp would have gotten 2 creeps into deny range, and then you look at this one bottom, and this melee creep's taken almost 100 damage, another one's taken 50 damage.
Yeah, that is true. We see the meta into the cookie. LOA. This might be his second death of the game. Yep, that last right click from Zephyr. As meanwhile, top lane, Whitemon takes a tumble, so trades across the map on respective position 5s. This is lane we haven't really talked about. We've seen a lot of this at the Animajor, the Puck versus the Dragon Knight, because like for the most part, it's just, you know, the DK will survive, both will farm. Do you see it the same way?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, DK has some potential to take Puck's tower if Puck tries to rotate too much. I think we'll see Quinn steal his bouncer and TP to take his own here, though, so that's pretty good for him. I think T1, how they set up their lanes with Dago has just been fantastic. This Morphling, he's just getting completely shut down, whereas I think if you lane versus Timbersaw, usually Morphling has a pretty good lane and some timing to level 6.
Well, Leslaw's getting pretty close at the very least to getting his Ring of Health, which will allow him to sustain a bit in lane.
He opted for the boots before Ring of Health, which I think is a good aggressive choice. They used that to kill Whitemon once, and it's already paid itself off for that. It's not like you can raise sustain versus Timbersaw anyways.
Yeah, but kind of what you're talking about here, the TB 19 and 11 CS versus the counterpart in Yawar 9 and 2.
Yeah,
so
and
obviously not a good start.
The matchup used to be really more favored when you could ulti Terrorblade and then you would use meta and go back into Morphling, and you would have meta while in Morphling form. It'd be super strong. But they actually changed that, fixed it. I don't know what you want to call it, and now you can't do that. So the matchup is pretty even now. I think maybe slightly more favored, but not with this start.
So why can't you do that though? Because if you have like Little Shredder, for example, that still applies when you turn back to Morphling, right?
How did it
or
work
Shadow
was
Realm
before
as well.
you would change back from Terrorblade in the transformation time of meta, and that would make you keep it. I don't know why or how they fixed it, but they just changed it. Like a lot of Dota changes are just like that.
Yeah, for sure. MSS pressuring Whitemon off the lane. Will not die, but with that Battle Hunger just has to waddle his way back to the base. Yeah, tell me about the Morphling this game then. Is there anything that is this just going to be like a right-click Morphling or E-Blade Morphling, something like that, or you actually go for Ags at some point?
I don't think there's a reason for him to go to Eggs.
You don't want to see the Axe with Shard? Double Axe?
Oh.
I mean,
I do. Wait,
cool.
like I want to see that, but do I think it's good? Right? Like, they're different.
That's true. Well,
I really want him to go there. I want him to go blink Manta and turn Jack with Eggs.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to. You can have waveform. You don't need the.
No, you need the blink. You need to commit.
Okay, but I'm guessing the way it works is you get Shard on Morphling, and that means you get the whoever you copy the Shard, right?
Yes,
okay.
that is how it works. It's very good. I saw Morphling.
All right, we see the Bushwhack onto Whitemon. The double call, actually, but it's going to cost a couple lives. Quincy crew. Nice double kill there, essentially. MSS and both Leslau each take one for themselves.
A little bit uncoordinated from T1. I feel like their tower's not under any pressure. I don't know if they should feel like they have to deal with this Axe. I mean, he's at his strongest point. He just got his Vanguard, and they're sort of committing on him. I mean, he didn't have Vanguard there, but that looked very far from death.
Right. Well, now that he has it, it's going to be cutting that wave, and
because they put so many resources top, though, like I feel Morphling is catching up now, right? That feels a bit awkward. You shut down this hero really hard, and now Savage is on his own here.
Yeah, Carl's going to get the Dragon Tail. Whitemon with the Earth Spike, but here comes the coil from Quinn. First of the game into the Bushwhack as well. Illusory Orb is enough to take out the Lion, but not enough to take out Carl. Another good kill there for Quincy crew.
Raindrops is a very good item, guys.
Yeah, I always forget it exists. I'm not going to lie.
Well, if you remembered, you gained 500 MMR.
500?
500 MMR. 5,000 MMR.
Okay, that's unrealistic.
50,000.
Leslie now taking out not only the wave, but some creeps as well. Cookie's going to be dodged from Quinn. Going to take the little Shredder, though. That's a lot of damage. And with this haste rune, Zephyr secures himself the kill on the mid laner, Quinn.
That's an amazing play. One thing that I noted, when the two supports from T1 went top, but something that they did that was really good actually was they managed to keep their wagon alive. So if Axe is cutting your wave,
23savage. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they left it alone to do this way, but they kept their wagon top alive, which means Cuckoo can pressure this tower a little bit. They basically traded like 700 HP on the tower though for Terrorblade's full lane dominance, and it ends up with Terrorblade dying. So I don't think overall everyone's just dying. I'm not seeing it. I'm just bad at observing this.
That's fine.
You fought and
We're catching enough to understand what's going on, but the thing I'm surprised by is that Cuckoo's level 6 versus the Axe level 7. Leslau, he was behind by a full level before he took out some of those stacks along with those 2 kills. So he's having himself a great game after a bit of a rough start.
Well, they're going for the Timbersaw top here.
Yeah, Cuckoo has to worry here a bit. Fire Spirits are there. MSS looking for the Bushwhack. Actually, Cuckoo eats the tree with that quelling blip, made it up.
He used Timber to cut it.
Yeah, I just had the premonition here.
Look at
that
this.
this was going to happen.
Radiant's
Boom!
top
That's an
tower
Intel
is under
replay right
attack.
there.
That's right. That is very true. This is not an Intel replay, though. This is a choppity chop for Leslau. So with the rotation from Quinn, able to secure themselves. You were wrong, by the way. That's
Yeah.
minus points on that one.
No, I have full vision, but I'm showing why we're not playing because I didn't know this puck was coming at all.
I
And
see.
it's a very good rotation by Quinn.
Yeah.
And there's a reason we're casting, right? Like,
Yes, this is true. This is true. All right, well, let's see, crew.
Radiant's middle
wait,
tower
this
is
puck,
guess.
under
do you
attack.
see this puck's net worth?
Yeah,
Puck
Quinn
is
is
the
not having
lowest
a hot
score by
game.
far. What
This
happened?
This is not normal for him, that's for sure.
This Dragon has 53 to 23 CS. He's just dumpstering Quinn mid.
Yeah, that's...
And Carl, his laning has been extremely impressive at the Animator.
We're gonna get the waning rift here into the invis room, but Carl still pressuring the
Radiant's
tower.
middle tower is under
That
attack.
minus armor from the little shredder. There's gonna be a lot of damage applied here with very little resistance from Quincy Crew.
We can't see though. Lelis he's just sort of dragging the creep waves into the neutral camps, which is why he's so. He has 77 CS at
Can you
9
stop
minutes.
saying Lelis? I kept calling him
Leslau?
Lelis at the major.
What am I calling him?
Well, it's Leslau now. He changed his name,
Well-
but it's just really hard for me to be on the same page.
sorry.
'Cause I'm trying to get myself off of saying Lelis.
They keep changing their names.
I
It's
know.
very annoying.
SVG,
Dyer's top tower
I'm
is
just
aka
gonna call him
LOA. Yeah, it's just too much.
MSS used to be Mojo Stormstar.
But that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but I still call him Mojo.
That's fine. I mean,
No.
that's what it stands for. I think
That's
that's
true.
still technically accurate, right?
It is very hot here sometimes.
Yeah. Leslau will be getting the Blink Dagger on the way. This is a 9-minute Vanguard Blink, my friend. That is pretty insane
That
timing.
might be one of the fastest we've ever seen. It's 5.3k net worth in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
For sure.
I wonder who they want to kill with it. Because Deke is very tanky, and Timbersaul's hard to kill. I think their option probably wants to be 23savage, but you can Zephyr. He's already sort of set up here to save that Terrorblade. They know that's something.
Carl now in the jungle here. We can see some Quincy Crew members
They need
on their
more
way up
flares.
there. Leslau
are
joining
scanning.
that Blink now. We have some TP support from Mr. Timbersaw. Actually, we'll commit to it, but Quincy Crew already out.
It's a blink reveal, but I think Quincy Crew aren't too sad with that. At least they forced out the TP. Now if they attack the bottom side of the map, Timbersaw won't be able to get there. A good reaction from T1 though. Dodging a 9-minute Blink Dagger Vanguard on max is a very important.
Yep, that's true.
Ooh,
You're right.
it's not a smoke,
The targets for them to go for are kind of difficult to kill for the most part.
Yeah, I like this though. They have their timing, so they're playing around their wagons, right? They just smoke to mid. I think the book should be coming for LOA here. Gets his level 6, and now they have their full timing.
For their opening here, Zephyr might be the target if they can see him. They'll take anything they can get at this point. They don't see him, which is a major issue. It looks like he will survive, and they're not going to get much out of it.
A
At
bit
least
of
not
an
yet.
awkward smoke. The ward was on Phoenix and not in the smoke, so they just sort of walked across the entire map into their jungle defensively and didn't hyper close, you know? I'm not smart enough to have any real opinion on it.
Yeah, that's pretty typical from any analyst, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's
I'm used to
right.
working with Cinderin, so I get that all the time, obviously. Goes without saying. Yeah, MSS now level 6. And yeah, the biggest concern from Quincy Crew's side is Quinn himself and the farm. He has fallen quite behind, like you said.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
He made some
Made up
good
a little
moves
bit of
against
ground
us,
now,
right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point it looked really rough, but after that kill on the Timbersaw top,
Yep, initiation from Leslau. We see the Fire Spirits coming with the waveform as well. Zephyr will be chopped down by Leslau. The adaptive strike, Cuckoo. I don't think they have enough damage to the world. Oh my god, that damage. Doesn't have enough to actually finish anybody off here yet. But will likely have enough to force Quincy Crew out.
look
for
at
now.
Leslau. He's making this fast play to top. Instantly kills bottom, is already TPing top to
Dyer's
make an
middle
airplay.
tower is
Okay,
under attack.
Quinn, he's gonna pop that coil to start things out. Leslau looking for the initiation, but the instant Dragon Tail. Green fire to follow, but here comes the egg. They don't have any lockdown to secure this. So T1's just gonna casually run away. Carl TP's out successfully, but at the very least for Quincy Crew, will be a tier 1 tower. Whitemon TP's out as well.
I don't know when those trees got
Radiant's
cut,
middle
but
tower is under attack.
whatever cut them, probably Timbersaw.
Dyer's
Carl just with
top tower is
the
under
precognition, you know, he knew that Axe was coming, he pre-clicks the stun, and it's a good gank dodge right there. They do end up getting the tower, so both sides, I think, like morally, I think they're pretty happy with it on the other side. I was going for the Lincolns. They do have a Dragonite Alliance, so that does make
Radiant's middle
sense.
tower is under attack.
Cuckoo's gonna run into Yawar here. So Yawar trying to defend this tower.
They can get him. They have finger.
Yep, absolutely. He actually attribute shifted there, but it's not gonna be enough. Finger of death from the shadows. Whitemon. Nice pickup there for T1.
Radiant's bottom
These teams have just been
tower is under
very
attack.
fast at moving around the map. We saw like some, they call bottom, they're already sweeping top. The line's already setting up and DK's pre-killing, and instantly line gets to bottom after that top play. I don't know what path he took, or I didn't see if he smoked, but they do have a lane ward for Radiant, so I'm sort of,
Radiant's
I
bottom
I should have seen
tower
it, but I
is under
didn't,
attack.
fortunately.
I'll give you a little tip as an analyst. Don't admit that you didn't see something. Just make something up and people will believe you.
That's true. I have watched Mr. Kyle cast. Free is free,
Makes
you know,
a
you
career
don't
out of that
take
for
those.
sure. Yeah, Quinn
Radiant's
bouncing back a
bottom
bit here.
tower is under
He has his
attack.
Witch's Blade and he's caught up to DK and farm.
Yeah, pretty close. Only 300 off.
Oh, DK has a
Dire's
Midas.
structures
Hoggers?
are fortified.
Really? Okay. I like that. We see the MSS initiation here into nothing, just pressuring a little bit here.
Dire's
3
middle
minutes
tower
faster
is
than
under
average
attack.
on this patch, out of only 10 matches, so a little bit of a
Radiant's
small
bottom
sample size.
tower is under attack.
Leslau not able to get the Berserker's call off.
Has fallen.
Now they have to be careful. T1, Cookie actually will connect onto Quinn, and here comes the Phoenix. The coil is applied, but Quinn just takes too much damage. Will's gonna get snapped here. MSS gonna get clipped by a couple of these kisses. See if T1 can clean up anybody else here. Courier trying to get him baited here, but it looks like MSS might fall as well. Oh, he gets off the sharpshooter to get a little bit of a distance there, but it's not going to be enough.
And really good
Meanwhile-
play by T1 here. Just going for the mid tower when they force all the Quincy crews.
Radiant's middle
Goes
tower
back.
has fallen.
Yeah, T1 looking really good. 2K net worth lead at 14 minutes now for them.
I saw this a lot from Miracle where he would go like 4-4-0, take the talent at 10. And I'm actually sort of glad that Quinn got punished there for that, because I don't think Puck should be allowed to do this. If he had Space Shift there, he 100% dodges that stun and lives.
Yeah, it does seem like a pretty greedy build. And,
Dire's
I mean,
top
Miracle,
tower
the
is
game
under
that I
attack.
saw, it worked out for him, but then I saw it another game afterwards, and they got punished pretty hard.
Yeah,
So it's one of
it's
those.
very risky, and I mean, I don't mind 4-4-0, but taking the 10 talent as well seems... Like, you really need 25 damage, you're clearing 2 waves and 2 spells anyways. Sort of my idea.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit regret there. Does have the level of phase shift now, though.
Leslau's going for that Manta build. So he's
Hell yeah.
identified that perhaps because Yawar and Quinn have both not had that good games, they need a little bit more damage to come out. So pure damage is very good against all 3 of the cores on T1, right? They're typically very tanky, high armor heroes.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. But as we talk, the lead continues to grow in favor of T1 just slightly. Cuckoo extremely tanky at this point of the game. And from Quincy Crew's perspective, are you waiting for something specific? Do you actually want to wait for the full Manta shard on Leslau?
I'm not
Like, what
too
are your
sure.
pickoff potentials here?
So they just finished their Lincolns on
Dire's
Morphling,
bottom
so that should
First
give them...
item Lincolns, wow.
Yeah, it's against Lion and DK, so I think it does make a bit of sense. Ooh, Lion, he's setting up on Yawar again.
Yeah, well, that's going to show that the Lincolns is there, and Whitemon now will attempt to run away. But LOA in the vicinity, no stun, of course. Adaptive Strike is there into the bushwhack. The Whitemon will fall.
Honestly, that was a really small play for Quincy Crew, but that was pretty sick synergy. Like, MSS predicted that Yawar was going to cast the push, and he aimed his bushwhack based on that push. So I don't think it was hitting on the
Dire's
TP.
middle tower is under attack.
I think Quincy Crew right now, they need to find a way to push lanes a bit further so they can see their move options. Or if they get a pick off like this, then they can pressure a tower. The Lincolns on Morphling helps with that a lot, because he can push
Dire's
lanes
middle
further than
tower
he otherwise
has
would have been
fallen.
able to.
And Quinn and company take out that tier 1 mid. But yeah, this Lincoln's pickup, that is an old school build on Morphling, I have to say.
It is.
As Whitemon, we can see the impact move here. Double stun, essentially.
That was a big impact move.
Indeed. Man, MSS looks so good.
He does. He's worked a lot on his image, I think.
Yeah, I need
Very
to do the
sexy.
same. Take some inspiration from him. But yeah, talk more about this Lincoln's, because this is super old school. This used to be like the first item you pick up on Morphling literally every game for like 5, 6, maybe even more years.
Yeah, I think from like Dota 1 days
Dota
all
1.
the way to like 2015, 2016, you would just
Yeah.
go Lincolns and Morphling. The idea was that you needed a lot of mana regen back then because attribute shift costs a lot more mana back then. With them increasing how much mana it costs, maybe that's part of what's bringing it back.
Wait, have you seen it more than this game?
What? Lincoln?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Lincoln.
First item?
Yeah.
Really?
Against single target disabled. Like right now, if you look at the map, like what does he have to fear, right? It's just Lion and DK. I mean, DK went Midas. He's probably expected him to go Blink and try to go for him. But it sort of makes sense in that sense. You saw there, even though Lion procced it with the Hex into stun, like Yawer still got his Morph off. So even if there are more heroes, he would have lived. It gives you a little bit of a window.
Yeah, even if there's a way for them to pop it easily, it just gives him that extra split second.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Blink Hex that's the fastest initiation in the game.
Yeah, it's
can't really
fast.
counteract.
I mean, Whitemon can probably, like, if he impales from Fog into a Hex.
Oh, we have a coil to start things out here on Zephyr. He's on the outskirts here. Looks like he's going to get taken out. That Sunray from LOA. Yawar was TPing, canceled it though. Okay. Yeah, it's getting pinged by somebody, but
they know exactly where he is, and they know that he canceled his TP. So I expect T1 to bring a lot of heroes here.
Okay.
They do have Lesla already set up in the area. He's sort of acting as a barrier. But Lion from behind.
And Whitemon is actually by himself, and here comes the TP, Carl. And that Dragon from Lesla with a nice Berserker's call onto 2, and they're just gonna blow up Whitemon as a result. It looks like Quincy Crew ready for that, like you said.
Yeah, Lesla, he played that fantastically. He knew that Morph was a little bit vulnerable, especially since he expended his TP, and he was just ready there. That was like perfect execution for the Lion, right? You come from an unexpected angle, you pop the Lincolns, and you instantly hex, but it still wasn't quite enough.
Vambrace picked up on the TB. It's a pretty good one. What are you hoping for tier 2s?
For Terrorblade?
Yeah.
Vambrace is good. Let me take a look. I really like Aquila because I like mana regen.
Okay.
And I think Pupil's Gift is very solid. Like any of the Essence Ring, Pupil Gift, and Nethershaw, they're like very solid defensive options. But I think Vambrace and Quicksilver, probably your best farming ones. Aquila, Vambrace, and Quicksilver. Imclaw's fine too. Honestly, all the tier 2 items are pretty solid right now. Dota.
Yeah, I think they're quite balanced
Dire's
actually.
top tower is under attack.
Fairy Trinket on the other hand.
That is a good one. Possessed Mask as well.
Lesla has the Yasha. Of course, not 20 minutes yet. See if he goes for the shard before actually finishing the Manta.
Quincy, they want to go in here.
Yeah, they sure do. Cuckoo puts himself potentially in harm's way. Berserker's Call is there with the Sunray to follow. And that is going to be a very easy kill onto Cuckoo. And even the Mortimer's Kiss is coming out from afar. And they know that that's down, so that's yet another spell that they don't have to worry about for this potential Roche take. Even Quinn is going for Lincolns.
Yeah, it's just a really good item this game. It's hard to initiate onto these. Like, if you give Puck enough time to phase shift, he'll get that off. You give Morphling enough time to morph, he'll live, right?
Yeah.
You just need a little bit of time. Also, I really like the Morphling versus Timbersaw matchup. I saw this once. I think it was Ame versus Beast Coast at the Major. I can't quite remember. But he was Morphling against a Timbersaw, and at level 6, he just solo killed him. Because the Whirling Death is so good against these strength heroes, like Timbersaw. And this Aegis has really swung the momentum of this map. Aegis means that you can push lanes further than you otherwise would. You can sort of take areas that normally you wouldn't deserve. And if you get map control with Quincy Crew's lineup, I think it's very easy for them to find kills.
Yeah. Aegis online, like you said. E-Blade is almost done for Yawar, about 800 away from that bad boy.
He is so farmed now, considering his start. I mean, Terrorblade is 2,000 above him, which blows my mind. But considering Morphling's start, I thought he wouldn't be able to get into this Dota game.
Does that really blow your mind, though? I feel like we've seen Terrorblade literally every game throughout the Major until now.
That's true.
And he always farms
That
well.
doesn't really blow my mind, but I just saw Morphling's items like, wow, that's really farmed, and I didn't see Terrorblade's network after.
That's true.
Okay. Well, Lesla has the Manta. Now just needs that shard for this huge power spike. I'm not sure if they're actually going to wait for it because he's still pretty strong right now.
I think you have the Aegis. You should push forward on the map. Try to get your line as forward as possible. They do have the BKB on Carl, but it feels a bit awkward. Like these last, like maybe 12 minutes for T1, because you don't have a blink on your initiator, your Dragon Knight. It doesn't feel like they've been able to do anything but sort of react to what Quincy Crew is doing. As a result, they sort of lost that lead that they built up early. I have not been liking the Midas pickup at this tournament.
Really? The Invoker Midases have felt pretty good.
Invoker makes sense. Like, I mean, some of them are good, but I saw like Tundra, they bought 3 Midases. I did not like that.
I mean, that game was that was a weird one.
That was not
to be
good.
fair. Yeah. So tier 2 towers down. MSS, by the way, position 4 Hoodwink has a Maelstrom coming. Obviously synergizes really well with the Acorn Shot, but it's more that he's position 4. Talk to me about why he picks this one up. That's awesome.
I have no idea.
I
mean, the
I don't
idea
think
is,
I've seen
like,
him pick that up
they-
once in the NADPC.
Yeah, they need more damage, I guess, and he's building it. Maelstrom's very good against, again, with 3 high armor cores on T1, and they're all sort of tanky. I mean, Terrorblade's a tanky hero with Dragonlance, SMY, and Tiscati, right?
Right.
So maybe they just feel like they lack damage a little bit more, and then you can E-Blade people, sort of deal.
And we see the double TP out here from T1 into their base, so Quincy Crew won't find anybody initially, but now into the enemy triangle.
Yao's really far from this fight, though. I don't know if Quincy Crew can take a fight here. They should hold a hill and just push waves from this area.
And now there's the Blink Dagger on the DK, so some initiation coming the way of T1 as this game, again, very even game so far, and kind of to be expected considering that the 3-game series for them in the Animajor went all 3 games.
Actually, I'm trying to think about this Maelstrom, because it's not for lane shove. Wait, one smoke in here?
And MSS going to get clipped by the Chakra. We can see the DK ult is popped. Carl does get the stun out, and MSS will be the sacrifice for Quincy Crew. If they just get out with that, they'll take that, I believe, any day of the week. But a lot of chase potential. Cuckoo with the Timber Chain Chakram. They're going to find Leslau potentially. Actually, this is the Timber Chain, but still lots of damage to come on top of this. Big throw up the Terrorblade instantly. What? Holy Jesus. The egg pops on the sideline. They're going to find yet another kill, this time on Leslau. So it's a 2-for-1. 23savage. I can't believe that he dropped that fast. Yuar turns into Mr. Timbersaw himself. They're going to find Zephyr in the trees. That Sunray will ensure that they get their 3rd kill of this engagement.
Look at Quinn. He's getting his revenge tips in. He's been being tipped all game.
At first, when I saw Terrorblade die, I thought it was an illusion. It died.
Yeah, he didn't get wand off.
I had to do a double take.
Agitreads and Agi Vanbrace. Maybe he should go onto that strength Vanbrace. They just did so much magic damage to him. I think potentially that 10% magic resist could have taken him a lot.
In meta here, as we can see. Let's see how fast he goes down here. Boom! E-Blade with the Sunray. Yeah, that is, whew. That's rough stuff.
Yeah, but why is Mojo getting Maelstrom and they do so much damage? Maybe it's some like foresight that I don't quite see right now, I guess.
You can ask him, I mean, you're friends with him. You can text him later and ask.
I only message him that I'm recording.
Oh, okay. Very mean to him indeed. We see the E-Blade, Sharpshooter to follow. Not enough damage to take out Cuckoo on the Timbersaw.
Dire's structures are
The
fortified.
Tier 2 tower now taking heavy damage, but the fortification will be popped by T1.
I've been seeing a lot of this Zeo Scepter versus Hoodwinks just so you can self-purge it. I saw it on the Tidehunter earlier on this tournament. But we should note that because of that, you don't have a Lotus Orb to sort of get that Ethereal and Silence off your Terrorblade. That's part of the reason why he died in that bottom fight.
Oh, Carl is actually forced to pop his BKB and TP out.
Radiant's top tower is
Be
under
successful.
That's almost as a shard too. 200 gold, and that's a strong axe timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so he's going to have that aggressive counter helix essentially. Basically having 2 separate counter helixes because they don't share cooldowns as well. Quinn going to be spotted out here. Reflection on him. They're not going to be able to hit the 3rd spike. Quinn, he's just dancing with T1. Actually has to pop the coil just to ensure he gets out.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I thought he
attack.
was dead there because I thought he was going to have to turn to Blink in the Timbersaw ulti. But Quinn with the 3000 IQ play, he just goes forward, pushes past them, and silences and coils to get out.
Really, you need 3000 IQ to do that.
Yeah, I've seen your puck.
That's not true. I haven't played puck in
haven't
years.
seen your puck, but I can imagine it.
That's true. Yeah, I can only imagine as well. Quite
I've
bad.
seen my puck, so, but that's like a 40 IQ one, so.
Yeah, makes sense.
So 23savage, he's going for the BKB, but I feel like his items, I mean, Scotty is really good against Morphling, but they feel a bit
Radiant's
defensive.
bottom
Like, I don't know if they
tower
have
is under
damage
attack.
if they're having to fight into Quincy Crew's lineup. Like Quincy Crew are going to group up around like some coil egg, and normally you need a lot of damage to push through that.
So what would you go for here? Because, I mean, in that last fight, if he had BKB, he still would have probably gotten initiated on pretty low, but the BKB ensures that he gets Sunder off there probably, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like an itemization problem or just like this is just how the lineup goes. Maybe you have to wait for one more item after BKB. Because if I look at his items, like you want each of these items, right? Like they make sense. SMI, the Dragonlance, the Scotty, the BKB, they all make sense. It's just he doesn't feel like he's a 16k net worth hero in this game.
Yep, not yet at least. We'll see in this next upcoming fight. But you are going for a BKB of his own. But here's the initiation from Carl. Dragon Tail. You can see the Sunray from afar, healing up Leslau pretty nicely. Is the Finger of Death going to be enough? The Hex to follow, and indeed, he took literally every kiss there from Mortimer. Took a while, but Leslau does die. Looks like it's going to be a trade, though. Able to take out Whitemon. Quinn, though, takes the Dragon Tail to follow. Oh, boy, that's not what he wanted.
tips.
Was looking for a pick and run, but not able to run that time.
I feel like I've seen this so many times this tournament. Like the offliners, they just think they're super tanky and they play in the middle of the map with not enough backup. Like with only a Phoenix behind you, you literally got hit by 5 heroes there. You're not going to survive.
Yeah.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Especially not against a type of hero like Timbersaw, who can just eat right through you.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, like they use Finger, they use every Mortimer's Kiss on him. And he doesn't have a cloak or anything, right? Like maybe if he has the cloak or a hood, but he doesn't really have a tanky build.
Oh, that's interesting. He actually got the Mindbreaker on Axe.
That's 25 attack.
Does that apply to, does the silence apply to the illusions, do you know?
No, illusions do not get the active from it, but they do get the 25 attack speed, which is nice.
Yeah.
Mindbreaker is sort of a weird item.
What's that?
Mindbreaker feels like a weird item. I think it's a... It's like
That's a Pango item right there.
Yeah, it's good on Pango and Wind Ranger, right? But I don't know.
I think the silence can be pretty clutch, but yeah.
It can be, but it's awkward to use.
Yeah.
You compare it to like the Titan's Liver or a Paladin Sword or whatever you want.
Yeah, they're always
Spider
good,
legs.
basically. Yeah, Spider Legs is literally always good. That's the problem with that one. I mean, do you think that if it was literally just boots, wouldn't it still be good?
Like without that?
Like literally just regular boots. Yeah. That would be still an item you use like in tier 4 stage for some heroes, right?
It would be, but I wouldn't be happy when I saw it because part of neutral items is like buffing up your current power spike, right? Like that's why Fairy Drink is so good. It's because it's good for the time of the game it's at.
Roshan has fallen.
It's another free
to the
Roshan.
Radiant.
Yeah.
They identified that they use meta morphosis.
Quinn takes the shard. Okay. So this will give 70 bonus damage to Waning Rift and knock people back 250 distance. So it sounds cool in theory in terms of like synergizing with Dream Coil, but in practice, I haven't really seen it be too successful.
It used to get bought a lot when it was 100 damage because you would just buy for the damage. But to be honest, Phoenix already bought his, Axe already bought his. Hoodwinks is like a negative, I think. Like it's not even a shard. And I don't think Yawar cared about
The decoy?
He was just like the last one left to take one.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good point.
That decoy is actually awful.
Dire's top tower is under
Could be
attack.
game winning. You never know.
Yeah. If you
buffs.
cast a spell on it, it might stun you for 1 second.
Yes. Maybe if it was a regular bushwhack and not a lesser one. But yeah, it will be. I mean, with the Waning Rift also will reveal invisible units, including wards in the area, which is kind of cool. So kind of a Zeus treatment to some degree. Yeah, majority of Quincy crew do have the shard, like you said. So smoking up, 3K network lead now for them. Leslie looking for the initiation. Dragon form spot, that's the Aghanim Scepter on Carl. He is very hard to kill. He's actually going to jump and actually successfully get the Dragon Tail. Morphling gets blown up. That's just the Aegis, though. Leslie jumps in to try to save him, but that's not enough heal from Leslie. War in the meantime pops his BKB, trying to kite 23savage, but the damage is just out of control now. The BKB's out of charges now as Yawar attempting to run away with that Scotty applied into the Chakram, and Yawar looks super dead. Gets the waveform up just in time. He's barely going to live with the attribute shift coming through, but Quincy Crew still loses too, and Carl, full HP, beast mode, man. Man, he looks strong.
I think 2 times in that fight, Carl was able to pop a Lincoln to get the Dragon Tail stun off just because of this neutral item. Psychic Headband. Very clutch play by him.
Yeah, that's an instant Lincoln's breaker.
And this Midas, it's paying off, you know. I didn't like how it looked in the game, but at this point, once you have that Aghanim's, he looks like a beast.
Yeah, now with the Scotty online, it's pretty good against a Morphling type hero.
That fight did feel a bit disjointed for Quincy Crew, right? Like they had the Aegis, so Yawar was sort of positioning aggressively, but Leslie, he goes in to save him, and the Aeg is like out of range of the Morphling. He can't even stun raid him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, Leslie jumped in to try to save him as if there wasn't an Aegis, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's going in. I think maybe he could have benefited from baiting that Aegis a bit, but it's hard to say. I mean, he ends up calling a DK, so it looks a bit silly.
I mean, with that, it's still only a 1K net worth lead for T1, so the game isn't like completely in either team's favor. But that was definitely a nice power spike. Getting rid of the Aegis, pretty huge. Still the cheese available on Quinn right now, as he's going for a Desolator, it looks like. And in terms of T1 items, Cuckoo has the Sage Kaya with the Yule's Pipe, going for a Lotus Orb right now. And we talked, of course, already about Carl and his Aghanim Scepter. We'll be going for an Assault Cuirass on top of that. And the big boy, 23savage, is actually going for Satanic before the Daedalus. So we've talked about this build a lot, just kind of being cookie cutter. Typically, you'll see the Daedalus come before this. What are your thoughts on going for the tankiness?
Yeah, I think he has a different read on the game than I did initially. I think his read's actually correct. Because once I saw that fight, like Carl and Kuka are dealing a lot more damage than I thought they would. So his idea is like, they have these 3 tanky cores. If he gets to a point where the damage of Quincy Crew runs out, because Puck's damage will run out, right? It's very spell-based. Morphling is based on E-Blade, and Axe is based on like this one Manta Claw. If they can survive through that, he thinks he can win any team fight. Like, I can completely see that happening.
And well, T1 all together now basically in this Quincy Crew jungle. Still 8-second BKB on 23savage. See the 20 strength talent taken for Carl. We talked about that talent before. Do you actually have a preference on that talent versus the Elder Dragon or the attack range?
If you're buying Blink, I think you should always take the strength. Like you're blinking on top of them to use your 400 range stun. I don't see why you would take attack range. It has to be like very specific.
We did see that talent a lot in the animator actually.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Like maybe there's some reason I just don't understand. Maybe for sieging high ground is better. That would probably make sense.
And Leslau has a BKB of his own now. That is a pretty in conjunction with the Desolator on Quinn. Pretty nice timings here for Quincy Crew, but the game is dead even. Second rush already down, so waiting for this third roast potentially. It'll have either the Aghanim Scepter or the Refresher Shard, which both teams would be more than thrilled to take. Typically the second rush decides the game. I want to say like 70% of the games. Not the case here.
Yeah, this game has been very even. I like how both teams are sort of identifying the status of teamfights. Like you can see Quinn, he's going for a Desolator. He needs more damage, and you can see 23savage, he's going for a Satanic, saying like, you don't have enough damage.
Right.
Now he has a DD room, so it doesn't matter what items he has, he's gonna smack.
All right, I need to hype this item up a bit, Mr. AUI. We got Mr. Leslau working towards an Aghanim Scepter, one of my favorite Ags in the game. Gives you lower cooldown of Berserker's Call. Anybody you Berserker's Call gets Battle Hungered, and anybody you Battle Hunger gets -7 armor stolen from them and given to Axe. So with the Desolator on top of that, they have a lot of minus armor.
That's some cool synergy.
Yeah, I absolutely love this item. It's not really an item you can get that early, but
It's a good item for sure. I don't really have much else to say about it other than that.
just
It's
agree with me. That's all I care
Yeah.
about.
I think normally it is designed to be like synergized with Blade Mail, because you remove the armor and do more damage with Blade Mail. But no one's buying Blade Mail, so instead he's synergizing it with his allies, which I like to see.
All right, Carl in the trees. 23savage beating on the tier 3 towers. Already at half HP, and Quincy Crew have to scurry back to defend.
And T1, they did a good job during that push of like cutting the mid-wave with all the Terrorblade illusions. We saw EG, when they were playing against Nigma, like we saw a similar push with Nigma where they 5-man top, and EG did the same smoke as Quincy now. You get forced to the base, you have lane control in some other lanes, you smoke out. However, T1, they have a lot more information than Nigma did this game, just because of how they're shoving lanes.
Many players smoked right now.
Dude, they see a lot of T1 on their ward though.
23savage is so enormous right now. Carl, in the literal sense, is enormous, but goes back to his worthless human form. Who's going to show in lane. And again, kind of the issue for Quincy Crew this game is that T1's heroes are just so hard to jump because they're so ridiculously tanky in general. Both with Timber, I mean, even the Terrorblade at this point.
Terrorblade has 3.5k HP with a Paladin sword. And the stuns, I mean, you have a call, but your follow-up isn't really casual because T1 have ways to cut that Hoodwink pushback tree. Just, you know, Timber Saw's ultimate.
Radiant's
And yeah, top lane pushes in because T1 were able to like leave illusions around the map, and they know exactly where Quincy Crew are.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And you can see Zephyr on the Snapfire has his shard as well, so that's the Scatterblast stun.
Radiant's top tower is
Oh,
under
with a Blink
attack.
Dagger too, so he's a good catch hero.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really powerful shard. Big power spike for him. Scotty now online for Yawar, so he's starting to get pretty beefy himself. Is Carl back into that dragon form? Forcing TPs back again from Quincy Crew's side. But again, the network, like we're not seeing either team kind of run away with this at all, which surprises me to a little bit, to a small degree here. I feel like T1 has, feels like at least, more map control, but apparently not the case.
They just had to play really tight. I think the reason why we haven't seen Leslau get any pick-offs with his like Link Manta with the shard is just because T1 are playing very like solid. They're not really, I think they believe in their scale maybe, if you play like this. They're not really taking any risks. And I think if I was them, like they've won every late game I've seen them on. So they probably believe in that.
Leveler on Leslau. That is an awesome item for the right-clicking axe. Very cool. See if it comes to... Oh, Leslie's going to jump in with that Manta Style, and the burst damage coming through. It's not enough. We're going to get the Yule Scepter to come online here. But it looks like Cuckoo will fall eventually. No, Timber Chains with that Lotus Orb, so the Culling Blade not nearly enough. They're trying to kite out 23savage. He gets the reflection up. Now Yawar's the one in trouble. Gets 4-step to the safety. Waveforms to the high ground. Still getting right click from afar. Carl with that Dragon Tail keeps him in place. Leslie with the counter initiation. Will it be enough to actually kill Yawar? Getting healed more from the egg to follow with the shard online on LOA. Some way, somehow, nobody has died in this fight. So much sustained from both sides. My God, that's crazy. And Roche is available.
And T1, they need to do this Roshan right now. They use Metamorphosis, they need to go.
Ooh, Aghanim Scepter, so likely see that on 23savage with the fear. AoE spell.
Him or Timbersaw. I think Timbersaw's is pretty good.
Quinn, they pop the Lincolns into the Dragon Tail again, trying to get healed, but it's not going to be enough. Dives back into the game. Initiation now from Leslie. Looks like he's going to drop shortly after. A double kill for Cuckoo, and now a double buyback on Quincy Crew. That all rhymed for some reason. Roshan at half HP. Need to reset here. 23savage, no meta right now. Gonna jump in though. They're gonna try to burst out puck. That's a dive back up to Quinn. Oh no! Quincy Crew crumbling here, but Leslie with a pretty big initiation. I don't know if they can fight without their position to puck. You can see all this damage and all this control just going to work. And this looks like the potential beginning at the end of game 1. 4 dead for Quincy Crew. Make it 6 if you want to count the buybacks. And they only get the Snapfire in turn.
Yeah, that was a rough fight. I mean, I think T1 pretty much have this game now, but this ward they placed on the high ground. Quincy Crew died. I think they lost 3 core heroes. Like, Puck died twice to the same ward, and Axe as well. For Carlos, he's trying to break his items in Quincy Crew's base.
Apparently. We see the intel replay here. And yeah, that dieback, that ended the fight pretty much. Leslie just a second too late. He was just there a little bit earlier. Maybe Quinn survives, but either way, T1 playing really disciplined here.
Yeah, their late game Dota is phenomenal. They're just really good with map control. I think, I'm not too sure Quincy Crew are all the sentries or like what happened there, but you can't let a high ground ward be.
At least it's not the rage face. Yeah. Although that was a great look, honestly.
That was, you know, it's nice when Dota players show emotion.
Yeah, I prefer that. I'm sick of robots, man. All right, well, that's going to be the bottom racks, and the middle racks will be next in all likelihood. Still 30 seconds without any core hero. So an easy double here for T1. They can reset if they really want. 23savage is the one that took the Aghanim Scepter, so that, like we talked about, gives you the Terror Wave, which provides that AoE fear and then gives you a few seconds of Metamorphosis to work with. But it's going to be Megas, it looks like. And Quincy Crew, I mean, they held on strong for quite a while. It was really even, and it was literally just that fight. That was the game.
It was the same at the bottom one where Quincy Crew had the Aegis on Morphling. Like 2 times now, they've taken big fights into T1's vision, or they've evaded it.
Here's the initiation. Can they blow up the 23savage? Oh my god, the Satanic is bringing him alive. Leslie getting beat down in the meantime. The egg does pop successfully, but really not enough damage done from Quincy Crew's side. So 23savage continuing to focus on the towers as we see the fear come out, and that's going to be a double kill, taking out Yawar in turn. GG is called game 1 to T1, looking just as strong as they were in the Animajor.
Honestly, maybe even stronger. They played a really clean game this game. They just, every single time that there was a fight opportunity, they always played their percentages.